Welcome in Sagittarius, and this is your reading for the first half of September. So before we jump in, one of the new things I wanted to do was pull a crystal card, and this will be a crystal for you to be able to maybe use in your meditation throughout the month. So let's see what comes up there for you. Rose quartz. So that would be a good one, and that and this card here has to do with grace, respect, emotional healing. So rose quartz for you if you wanted to pick some of that up and use that in your meditations for this month. So before we jump into the reading on, we'll take a look at career and jobs. We'll take a look at love and relationships, and then also life path and mission. But I did want to touch on a few things that are happening. We do have a new moon in Virgo on the 14th. So usually that has to do with new projects, routines, things like that. But with Mercury going direct in Virgo the following day on the 15th, some of the focus there is actually going to be more on things that you can do quickly and finish up, maybe things that have been stalled out, maybe things got a little bit sidetracked with Mercury in retrograde, because usually with Mercury in retrograde, that's affecting your communication, your timing, technology, stuff like that. So maybe some projects got pushed to the back. So that would be a good time, like middle of the month, is how many things can you kind of quickly get wrapped up so that you can move on to other bigger things. So, all right, let's pull a few cards to see kind of overriding message for the first half of the month. Just general energies. We have the Three of Shells, Three of Acorns, and Eight of Acorns in reverse. So the Three of Shells is going to be your Three of Cups. Three of Acorns is going to be your Three of Wands, and then Eight of Acorns in reverse will be your Eight of Wands in reverse. So your overall energy is kind of a celebration, some travel, some freedom there, a little bit of like playfulness and bliss. And then your Eight of Wands in reverse is about kind of like some bad timing or missed chances. So it could be that you have all this lighthearted, good, I'll call it playful energy, happy energy that's caused you to miss some potential opportunities or some deadlines because you're kind of off in that happy place. So one of the things, as we start shuffling and getting ready to look at the individual paths within your within the first half of the month for you, is we do still have a lot of planets in retrograde. We have Venus, Pluto, Saturn, Neptune, Chiron, Mercury, and Uranus. Venus does go direct on the 3rd, so you should be receiving some relief from that. So the energy will be kind of slowly returning. Remember, that was putting a lot of focus on relationships. But the next day it gets replaced by Jupiter going in retrograde. So that kind of has to do with things slowing down a bit. You have maybe some fewer opportunities, but that also leads you to a period of growth and expansion because there's not as much happening. So you can kind of turn inward a little bit. But let's go ahead and jump in and see what the first half of the month has in store for you from a job career standpoint. So in the recent past, we have the Empress in reverse, currently sitting in the Seven of Pentacles, with the likely outcome being the Six of Swords. So in the recent past, you have this kind of sense of like blocked creativity and feeling unappreciated from a work perspective. And that's putting you currently into kind of like this growth standpoint. So maybe putting in more energy, like you were feeling unappreciated and feeling like things weren't quite clicking. So you put in some extra work and now you're sitting in more of a sense of growth and you're reaping the benefits of that, with the kind of next level of energy being some positive change and you're moving on. So whether that's moving on from that stagnant period at work or maybe a new projects, new promotions, switching teams, some sort of a growth within the work field. Or it could be, if this was bad enough, maybe it spurred you to looking at another job and then that's the direction you went. But it looks like things have turned around energetically for you and they're moving to a good place. And some of that, could be some of that Saturn in retrograde energy, because it's still in retrograde until early November. And that's about, how do you attain your goals? Where should you invest your energy? And it looks like your energy has been invested wisely, and things are moving along nicely on the work front for you. All right, let's see what is going on love and relationship wise. Let's see what is in store for you, Sagittarius. In the recent past, we have the sun in reverse, currently sitting in the moon, with the likely outcome being death in reverse. I'll push these up because I think we're running out of space. So in the recent past, you've had kind of this pessimism, feeling like maybe you've been held out of your blessings or locked out of your blessings. Excuse me. And it's putting you in this place of doubts and fears. So the moon card, and that's been coming up a lot in the daily readings that we've been doing. And sometimes the moon is about, kind of like illusions or lies or deceitfulness. So it could be that there's been a little bit of that. But a lot of times this can also represent your doubts, your fears, your insecurities. So if you've been in a place where you've been kind of pessimistic and feeling like you've been held out or held back from your blessings, like, it can put you in this sense of doubt and fear that, if you're in a relationship, like, oh, maybe this isn't really the right relationship. And the Venus in retrograde, that really put a lot of focus on relationships, and it kind of had that make it or break it energy for a lot of people. So some of this should be improving because Venus will be going direct. But your future energy that's coming in it's still this lack of movement, and there's kind of this sense of loss and resistance to change. And with that, whether it's a matter of the relationship ending and you're resisting it, which could be the case if the current energy, if it's that there's lies or deceitfulness or something kind of happening under the dark of night type of thing, you could be resisting that. Or if this is more of a matter of your doubts and fears are running away with you, it could be that you're resisting letting go of some of those doubts and fears. So that's something you're going to have to weigh for yourself, is how much of my type of mood that I'm in right now is because the other person is lying to me, versus I'm letting my doubts, I'm letting my fears run away with me, and letting it take over the narrative. Because that's something that, and it is really difficult to figure out what is your fear versus your intuition. So if you're trying to decide, like, is this person lying to me, or am I just kind of making this up? You have to be able to work on quieting your voice, or quieting that loud ego in your head, like that voice, because your intuition is going to whisper to you. Your intuition isn't screaming in your head the same way your ego does. So, with rose quartz being that crystal about like harmony and everything like that, maybe try doing some meditation there, or carrying around rose quartz with you and seeing if that helps with some of that energy. I would say, don't do anything major until Venus goes direct, because some of that energy could start to subside. So if you're thinking about something, make note of what you're thinking about, but maybe don't take any major actions right now while all this energy is wonky, because there's a lot of heavy energy out there right now. So make sure that you're thinking things through and not letting fears cloud your judgment. So with your life path and mission, in the recent past, you've had the star, which is that faith and hope and optimism and joy and all of that. You're receiving your blessings from the divine, but you're currently in a position where you're trying to make a decision, like you're juggling different priorities, or like you're weighing out, what should I do? Should I do this? Should I do that? And the likely outcome then is this sense of exhaustion. So you've had some blessings, and that's been giving you a little bit of energy or enthusiasm towards something, but then now you're weighing decisions, and it's just churning and churning. And with this, you've got this kind of infinity sign here. And it just keeps going back and forth. Like one day you're thinking this and then it comes back, and now you're thinking this and then it comes back, and it's leaving you burned out. So that's something, definitely take some time and really think about what it is that needs to be let go. Like what is it that's going to bring you that sense of joy, that sense of happiness, that sense of fulfillment, and let go of what isn't serving you. So that's what is looking like in the life path and mission. Let's pull a couple of oracle cards and see if we can get some additional insight on what's going on. Oh, so this one popped out. The search, feeling lost, confused, or lonely. So with that, if you are trying to juggle between a few different things and you're trying to make your decisions and you just don't know which path to go on, like you're confused, and the search can also be here with the love part and your relationship part, that if you're feeling lost and confused, like you can't tell, is it that this person is lying to me, or is it that it's my fears and my doubts that are overshadowing things? Have faith that there's the sun above her head, that the search is going to lead you down the right path. You just have to have the patience to be able to listen to what's coming in. All right, so let's pull another oracle card since that was a jumper. Purification, fire, bare essentials, the naked truth, wholeness. So some of this could be a matter of you need to come to terms with like actual truth. So if there's lies that are being told, you need to come to terms with that so that you can figure out what your next steps are and figure out how to move forward in a place of wholeness. All right, let's take a look at our moon card. Meditate and contemplate. So like I said, in regards to like with the relationship part, make sure that you're meditating and you're really thinking things through. In terms of relationships, I would not do anything until after Venus goes direct. Let that energy settle a little bit and see if you still feel the same. Now is a great time to journal and really make note of what is it that you're feeling, and then go back and look at it. If you can journal kind of every day for the next week or two, and then go back and look at it and see what is it that you really want, what is it that you're really feeling? What are your consistent thoughts? Because overall you have this good positive energy, and I think this good positive energy seems to be here on the job front with, your 8 of Wands in reverse, like this bad timing and chances miss and kind of some slowness here. But it seems like really things are pretty smooth up in the career standpoint. So maybe focus more attention there and just journal about some of these other things, and then revisit it maybe when your energy has settled a little bit more. Because also with Mercury going direct in the middle of the month, some of that weird heavy energy will change. So some of your communication energy will change as well. And then with this card, it's you're stronger than you realize. So know that even if you're struggling right now, if it's in the relationship standpoint or struggling to figure out your life path, you're stronger than you realize. So really turn inward and meditate, and that will help you with your feeling lost and feeling lonely, and it will help you with that feeling of wholeness. And like I said, journaling is a great exercise. Even if you're not spending hours a day journaling, just a little bit about what you're thinking, what you're feeling, what you're concerned about, and see how that evolves over time as some of these energies change. So, this fall, some of these other retrogrades will be ending, but right now there's so much focus, like weird, heavy energy, so much focus inward on, what needs to be healed and all of that, that it really, it does make for a kind of an overwhelming, time for some people, but you're stronger than you realize. So just kind of work on your grounding and your meditating, and hopefully that will help bring you some peace. So I hope today's reading has been helpful. If this is information that you think somebody else could benefit from, I would encourage you to share it. There will be some additional videos. There was one that posted the other day about then is this your person? I'll have some like a new twin flame video coming out as well, and then the daily card pulls too. So if you want to be alerted when those new videos post, click the notification. And um, until the next time, I wish you joy and peace along your journey. Bye bye.